A very good evening to everyone present here. I request every participant to turn off their audios for a clear communication. I request all the participants to turn off their audios for a clear communication.
Sarmista?
Yes, sir. I'm starting the meeting.
Principal sir, join korise ha.
Join korise hoy sir. Join korise dekhate. Start kori diu ami.
তাৰপিছত এতিয়া পৰা এনা start মানে অকমান হেৰি কৰি লোৱা ফাইল আৰু মানুহ আহিব চাগে নিশ্চয়
হয় sir participants বিলাক add কৰি আছে request আহি আছে add কৰি আছে
তুমি add কৰিলো অকমান মানে settle down হৈ লওক participants খিনি
হয় sir
কাৰণ এইটো মুহূৰ্তত এতিয়া বহুত খিনি participant একেলগে জয়েন simultaneously দুইটা কাম কৰিবলৈ দিগদাৰ হ'ব সো
দিগদাৰ হয় sir
অকমান চাই লওক যিমান আহে আহি লওক তাৰ পিছত তুমি ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰি দিবা
ঠিক আছে sir ঠিক আছে
পিছা শুনা পাইছা
শুনা পাইছো sir
ঠিক আছে হ'ব
শুনা পাইছো
শৰ্মিষ্ঠা কিমান পাৰ্টিসিপেন্ট হল যদি পাৰি আৰম্ভ কৰিব কৰিয়ে দিয়া আৰু লাহেকৈ
কি 58 হৈছে কৰি দিব পৰা 58 হৈছে
A very good evening to everyone present here. Honorable Speaker, sir, respected Principal, sir, and all other dignitaries present. The Department of Commerce, Dooma College, takes the privilege in welcoming you to the national webinar on evolution of advertising in India, a roadmap. So, we are able to permit virtual entries of only 100 participants. We are very glad to inform you that we received the total registration of more than 300 participants for the webinar. To facilitate the other participants, we are also going live on YouTube. Before commencing the program, I, on behalf of the department, would like to seek your pardon for all the online discrepancies that you may encounter. We shall be highly grateful if you could kindly bear with us. The webinar is simultaneously telecasted live on YouTube. To begin with, I'd like to request Dr. Deepak Kumar Mohanto, Head, Department of Commerce, to welcome the gathering. Sir, please.
Thank you, Sarmista. Very good afternoon to everybody. I, on behalf of Dooma College and Department of Commerce, welcome you all to this webinar. Yes, Department of Commerce of Dooma College is organized this webinar on an important and interesting topic, evolution of advertisement in India, a roadmap. First of all, we hereby welcome Dr. Prakash Jyoti Bordhagur sir, Principal of Dooma College and Chairperson of this webinar. We are fortunate to have the resource person for this webinar, spare his valuable time even from his tight schedule. Only for his consent, we are able to organize this webinar. He is not but our respected Dr. Simon Kumar Nath, Associate Professor of the Department of Commerce, Dibrugarh University. You are most welcome to this webinar, sir. Nextly, we welcome Dr. Pranjit Choikia, Coordinator of IQAC Dooma College, and also welcome the members of the team IQAC of Dooma College. We are happy to welcome all those who have joined here today, especially all faculty members participating from various colleges and universities, research scholars, students, academicians, businessmen, and entrepreneurs. You all are welcome to this webinar. Thank you. Over to Sarmista.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to request the chairperson of today's program, Dr.
Hello.
Ma'am, you were not
Thank you.
audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I'd like to request the chairperson of today's program, Dr. Prakash Jyoti Bordhagur, Principal, Dooma College, to put forward his kind words. Sir, please.
Hello. Good afternoon to all. Is it audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Please continue.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So good afternoon to you all. Respected today's resource person of this national webinar on evolution of advertising in India, Dr. Simon Kumar Nath, the Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Dibrugarh University. Respected Vice Principal of Dooma College, Dr. Injumani Fukan, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Pranjit Choikia, Head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. Kumar Mohanto, and all the professors of the department, Samista Sandipan, and all the other members of the IQAC, and participating research scholars, students, teachers from all parts of the country, and the distinguished guests of this webinar. It is really very encouraging that Department of Commerce Dooma College has organized such a beautiful a webinar on a very beautiful topic, evolution of advertising in India, a roadmap, which is being organized by Department of Commerce Dooma College and the IQAC of Dooma College. First of all, I, on behalf of Dooma College family, welcome you all to this national webinar on evolution of advertisement in India. And more than 300 participants will take part in this webinars. And our resource person, Dr. Simon Kumar Nath, will describe the various pros and cons and aspects of advertising. And definitely it will help our students in near future. Basically, it started with the classified advertising in newspapers, which is oftenly we have seen in the basically Assam Tribune, Dainik.com, and all other papers. This is a beginning, and then after that we are experiencing various type of advertising in the form of radio advertising, TV advertising, and other various electronic mediums. In the first decade of 20th century, most probably Dr. Ram and Company, maybe the oldest agency of advertising in India, established in 1905. Basically, there are different types of advertising, which are basically display advertising, video advertising, mobile advertising, native, social media advertising, print media advertising, and so many other different types of advertisings now in the developing nations like India. And nowadays, advertising plays a very important role in promoting or popularizing any product which is being manufactured by different companies or different advertisement. So these are different types of, there are more different types of advertisement which are being advertised by different company whose product different commodities and different institutions. And today's I have seen some types of advertisements which are in the form of suspense. Like this, before coming to the market, any product, we have seen that there are a lot of big hoardings in the roadsides, in the top of the buildings. We have seen with very good captions. Like in Assamese, I have seen that Bhoy nakhabo, tiger ahi ase. Ba আজি অলপ দিনৰ আগতে আমি এটা এডভাৰটাইজমেন্টৰ এটা ডাঙৰ ডাঙৰ হোৰ্ডিং দেখিছো. We have seen in big hoardings that there are a lot of advertisements which are in the form of suspense. Definitely this type of advertising will attract our consumers and other members of our societies. So this is a very beautiful topic chosen by our Department of Commerce. So I am very much thankful to the Department of Commerce as well as all the members of the IQAC for choosing a very beautiful topic on evolution of advertising in India. And definitely it will help our students, researchers, stakeholders in near future. So how we can popularize the advertising in our day-to-day life. Nowadays, we have seen a lot of captions are there, which are very beautiful captions in the market. And this will definitely help us in promoting any product produced by any companies. With these few words, I once again welcome you all to this national webinar on evolution of advertisement in India. And especially I welcome Dr. Simon Kumar Nath, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Dooma University, and all the stakeholders and all the researchers, students, participants, businessmen, academicians, these seminars. And definitely it will give a new direction in advertising, and it will help a lot to our students. With these few words, I declare this national webinar open. Thank you once again. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Over to Somistha.
Thank you, sir. Today, we have amongst us Dr. Chimin Kumar Nath, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Dibrugarh University, as the resource person. Dr. Nath has an experience of serving the corporate sector for 4.5 years before joining the university in 2002. Dr. Nath, the former head of the department, also holds the responsibility of being the coordinator of the Center for Entry into Services as well as Entrepreneurship and Skill Development Cell. He has to his record paper presentations in 116 national and international seminars and 65 publications in reputed journals. He had supervised 7 PhD and 22 MPhil scholars so far and has few more on his cards. Dr. Nath also enjoys cooking and traveling. It would be a great honor to hear from Sir today. I request everyone to put forward your queries in the chat box. The same shall be discussed at the end. The Google feedback form for the certificates will be provided in the Zoom chat box as well as in the YouTube comment section towards the end of the program. Everyone is therefore requested to stay tuned till the end. Now, may I please take the honor to request the resource person, Dr. Chimun Kumar Nath, to enlighten us with his valuable words. So please.
Thank you so much, Sarmista. A very good afternoon to one and all present in this particular platform. First of all, like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Prakash Jyoti Bhattakur, the principal of Dooma College. Along with him, I would like to also acknowledge the presence of Dr. Deepak Kumar Mahanta. He happens to be the coordinator as well as he is also the head of the Department of Commerce, Dooma College. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of all the faculty members of the Dooma College and including the assistant coordinators for this particular webinar, Sarmista and Sandeep. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of all the participants out here across the country, I believe, and the students, faculty members, the research scholars, and entrepreneurs. I mean, whatever with your designations, I really welcome, acknowledge your presence, and I'm very much grateful to the Dooma College for giving me this opportunity to have a word with you and to discuss with you on a particular topic, what we caption it as the evolution of advertisements in India, a roadmap. Now, before actually I go for a detailed discussion on the topic, let me just tell you that the society at large is always actually looking for improvising their standards. Means the people, they always wants to upgrade their standards of living, and for that purpose they are in need of the information, they are in need of the data through which they can gather knowledge about newer products and the services being offered in the market, and how to enhance the uses of that particular product. And perhaps when we look for the improvisation of the standards of the of the lifestyle, obviously we are also looking for improvisations of the products or the services that are being offered, because if you use an improvised product, obviously your standard is also improving. And perhaps that is for that particular reasons only many economists were a little bit inclining towards the capitalist pattern. They always encourage competitions. So when there is a competition, obviously the standard of the product improves, and at that point of time, the media through which actually such particular improved products are brought to the common mass is basically none other than the advertisements, because that is the most usable, or you can say most easily accessible media through which these people, the people at large, can be made aware of, can make aware about the enhancement of the product, as well as when the product reaches the maturity level, then also knocking the customers that see we are still there in the market. So for whatever the obvious objectives behind it, but advertisements really plays a very, very major role in our lifestyles. And today I'll be discussing about the evolution of advertisements, which perhaps the principal sir has rightly already mentioned about, talking about the first agency in Assam, and then how actually from a print media it has switches over to the digital media and now to the mobile media. Everything he has in his very short introduction, he has actually talk about a brief description of the roadmap of advertisements in India. So perhaps I'm very much thankful to sir that you have already initiated a discussion. I'm thanking you for helping me to carry out the particular discussion in a lucid way. Thank you, sir. So now moving on to our own discussion, and for that purpose I need to share my screens. So I beg a few minutes from yours so that I can able to share my slides in front of you. Can you please confirm that whether it is visible?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Now, the evolution of advertisements in India. Perhaps, as I say, that advertisements actually brought about certain social changes. And today, our discussions will proceed with such kind of social changes. How this advertisement has used to bring such kind of changes to the Indian people, Indian society. Onto that, actually, our discussion will be centering around. And what we have understood is that the social changes basically a process of evolution. Uh, it started with a one point and then it keep on improvising over the years. And mainly such changes are basically focused on the conformity part, because people always likes to express or experience certain things which are in conformity with their ideas, with their thought process. So the society always looks into that aspect. Perhaps that is the basic reason for which the concept of religion emerges way back. But the thing is, you see here, is that this conformity is one of a major aspect that every human being, it's a natural tendency that every human being is looking for. And when there is a conformity with their thought process, with their ideas, obviously they always like to accept that particular offer, whether it is a product or a service, they like to accept that particular offers. So that's why our discussion will be sometimes, will be focused on this particular aspect, that is the conformity. Then next is basically the status quest. Yes, people are always looking conscious about the status. When we talk about the status, we are not actually talking about the status of a high end or high rich, or you can say in a very general words, like rich people. Even at the middle level income level, means middle level income based people, then the lower income people. Perhaps everyone is having their own status. I mean, they always enjoys that particular identity. So that status quest is always a one of our aspect in the social change. Then continuity with the lifestyle is also another phase which they are looking for. And at the same time, they always want some. I mean, at the initial stage, maybe they do not want to accept the change, but in a way they always wants, like, there should be a kind of an evolution of their thought process. So that's why today our discussion will be from on these particular 4 points: the conformity, status quest, continuity, and the evolution. But before that, we need to actually understand the Indian market, the genesis associated with the Indian market. And when we talk about the market, and I'm looking it from a marketing perspective, what I have seen here is that in India, it's all about a rural market, because the rural market is such a large market that need to be tapped for. And that's why most of the marketing people are basically focusing on the rural India. Now, if you look into these basic statistics, what we have seen that rural India consists of about 127 million households, and out of that, in fact, only 54% have the access of those conventional medias like TV, satellite, radio, or cinema, like that. Now, so rest 46% is still remain untapped. Now, extremely, I mean, Indian market, if we look into, and especially if we look into the rural India, it is extremely unpredictable one, and it possesses certain special unique features. It varies from one place to the another. And to tap this particular market, that's why advertisers always, interested to look into and to understand the rural perceptions, the values, and the traditions, because that those are playing a very big role in accepting a particular product or not to accept a particular product. So that's why, because as I said, that it is quite unpredictable. So it is a big challenge for the marketeers to understand the rural perceptions, the values, as well as their traditional thought process. Then rural consumers trust known names. That is another important features, that they only trust the known names, which they know, and purchase products that are in line with their aspirations. Whatever their aspiration is, in that particular line only, if the product is available, then only they purchase. Again, the rural consumers in India are now gradually becoming brand conscious. Previously, it was like that Kamal Chap Wala Sabun. But now, yeah, they say that it is Tata OK soap or something like that. That Lal Dantamanjan, previously they were talking about the Lal Dantamanjan, but now they say Dabur Lal Dantamanjan. So somewhere or the other, you find that the brand consciousness is emerging. And what is the biggest challenge that the marketeers usually face when they are targeting this rural market is like it consists of approximately 20,000 ethnic groups in India. And there exists over 24 languages and 1,642 dialects or so around India. Of course, these statistics, I'm not, the latest one. Maybe some dialects got extinct now, but still, it's a huge area, that huge, you can say, diversity that the marketers need to address of. Now it exhibits an extremely diverse and heterogeneous market, as I say. And then the most important characteristics in Indian market is what? That the emotions are very, very strong here. The people are highly affected by our emotions, so rather than we talk about the rationality part. So that emotions are very, very strong here. Then our perceptions, the basic perceptions are stronger than the attitude. You see, perceptions are not basically a deep-seated ideas, but an attitude is basically a deep-seated ideas among with us. But what we have seen now that in India, especially the Indian market, the basic Indian consumers or the customers, their perceptions are basically very, very stronger than the basic attitude. And they are, most of the time, they are not basically the leaders in purchases. They are always strong as the followers. They always want to see that what others are purchasing, and after that, listening to their experience only, they normally purchase that particular product or the service. So that perceptions, they are strong as followers and weak as leaders. Now, another important characteristics what we have seen, especially in Indian situation, is that the Indian people, by and large, is easily accept the beliefs. The beliefs are very, very strong here. So whatever the beliefs are, they easily accept that particular beliefs. They do not want to deviate from such kind of beliefs. Now, coming to the media uses, in Indian market, if I talk about, it is basically a well-born community structure. So advertising and marketing also should have a community feel, and that's why word of mouth is always an important message carrier in rural India. Now, the opinions of the spirituals and the religious leaders always have a very, very strong impact on the promotion of any product in the rural market. And that has been capitalized by and large in the northern and the southern part of India, because their spirituals and their religious leaders are very, very strong. And whatever their opinions are, the people are blind-eyedly following it. I'm sorry when I'm using the term blind-eyedly, but then this is the reality. Yes, they follow them like whatever they say, they are simply following their leaders or the spiritual, whether it is a spiritual or a religious leaders. Then street shows are quite popular in villages. Even now also, the street shows are quite popular. And there are, in fact, there are so many examples of effective street shows being employed to promote products in India. But out of that, of course, the wall paintings are by and large a very widely used media. It's not about the hoardings that we are talking about, but then wall paintings in the villages, it has been used widely. And to in order to promote products, the first and the foremost things that actually comes to an advertiser's mind when they are targeting a rural India is basically the wall painting. Then audio announcement in the bus stands has a great impact on the promotion of brands and products in small towns and the rural areas. And this is really very interesting things in fact, that, as I said, that Dabur Lal Dant Manjan. that becomes popular because of this audio announcements in the past tense. And what we have seen is that this media uses always actually plays a very important feature in the entire advertisements. Perhaps if we even today also, if we go to any kind of vegetable market, you will find that so many sellers are there, which is they may have a totally different tone, but when inside the market, you will find with a metallic sound, everyone is keep on shouting like, "And dastaka, dastaka, dastaka." So that is itself, a kind of a way to attract people, and through which they try to promote the particular product or the services which are being offered. Of course, today the malls, discotheques, and the pubs are most sought after for the young urban lot in India. Yeah, that is a way. That is a place where through which where, if we do the advertisements, probably we can attract the urban lots, the young urban lots in India. So these are ways through which this media uses can be are being used in India. Now coming to the advertisements in India, the advertising, as I said that we will be discussing the advertising process in India through four different stages. One is the conformity. The second, I will talk about the status quest, then the continuity, and then the evolution part. So before moving on to the next slide, am I audible to everyone? Can you please confirm?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now coming to the conformity part. When, as I said, that people always looks for the products or the services should matches to their requirements, to their understanding, to their level of perceptions. As I said, in India, perceptions are strongest than the attitude. So whatever their perceptions towards a particular product, if such things are being advertised in the same sentiments are being displayed in the advertisement, then people really like such kind of advertisements. But by doing the advertisers actually by utilizing such kind of sentiments, they try to no doubt capture the market, but at the same time they try to educate the people also. So I mean, how it has processed, how it has gone for, gone in different phases. Let us now go back to maybe about the late part of 60s or the 70s. Most of the cases, whatever the advertisements were there, that at that time it was mostly the radio advertisements, and at the same time the gramophone records. That gramophone records were also playing a very major role. I mean, they were also being used as a media through advertisements. How, of course, it's a very interesting one. Let us just zoom into one particular audio clipping. I just clipping, and once we have it, then after that, of course, we will carry on the discussion. So here it goes. Listen to this particular clipping. Is it audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Sorry for interrupting it. Next time, definitely, I'll not be inquiring about it. Please.
घर घर में मुस्काए रोशनी और अंधेरा हाथ मले, गांव गांव और नगर नगर में बर्मा शेल का तेल जले, हो बर्मा शेल का तेल जले। हो कल्लू काका नथु नाई और चौधरी चंपत राम, धर्मा धोबी बुद्धू बढ़ई सबके अपने अपने काम, लेकिन सबके घर में जब दिन ढल जाता आ जाती शाम, लेकिन सबके घर में जब दिन ढल जाता आ जाती शाम। सर्दी गर्मी सूखा बरखा आंधी और तूफान चले, गांव गांव और नगर नगर में बर्मा शेल कतेल जले हो, बर्मा शेल कतेल जले।
Okay, that's a very comparatively a long song, so I just have to cut short. And that was an advertisement of Burma Shell. And can you just imagine during that particular period of time, the kerosene? This particular advertisement was basically meant for the kerosene advertisement, the Burma Shell kerosene. So that, at that point of time, even for selling the kerosene also, they were carrying out such kind of a promotional process by by asking Rafizi to record a number, and it was recorded in his master's voice. So like you see that the process actually started at that particular point of time with such kind of situations. Of course, the print media was always there, but then such recordings were also being played in the radios also. So that is how actually the process started, and people really like such kind of advertisements because it is a day-to-day uses. The kerosene was a day-to-day uses at that point of time, and when they hear a very famous singer of their time, of course even today also, but then for them, at that point of time, a hit singer, Rafizi was giving the voice, so they were very much attracted to this kind of advertisement. Then Indian people also had at that particular point of time were very crazy about the foreign products. I mean, they always wants to showcase, like, see, this is my foreign wristwatch, this is my foreign soap, this is my foreign shirt, or whatever it is. I mean, that foreign product is more important to showcase of. And that's why many of the advertisements, when we started with excuse me. Excuse me. Anything that you want to comment? No, I think by mistake, they switch on the mic. Anyway, now you see that the foreign products, the craziness of the foreign product was always there. If your TV should be a foreign one, your car should be a foreign one, your soap should be a foreign one, like that, they always want to have a foreign products, and that is they feel esteemed, when they want to show that yes, I'm using a foreign product. So at that point of time, the advertisers also capitalize that particular hours of foreign products, but in another way through which they also showcase that and even the Indian products are also at par with such kind of foreign products. What actually in the mindset we have a kind of a psychological blockings that we always believe that foreign products are best. The advertisers were actually trying to negate that particular idea and want to change it up. How? Let us see one particular video here.
जापान सर चलता बोर्ड जापान माल रेडियो कैसेट आई सी अरे बाप क्या वॉल्यूम है कॉस्ट भी है क्यों रिव्यू भी है ऑटोमेटिक शट ऑफ टेप काउंटर साहब यू सेल मी दिस सेल मी जापान माल 1800 rupees नो 2000 rupees cash. No? This is a very good set. Bush Baron, made in India. I bought it from there.
Now available in 2 models. Bush, the number 1 2-in-1.
ये देखो लेटेस्ट अरे मुर्गा हटना भाई जरा फुटबे वेलकम सर वेलकम One bargain, Japan Mal, very good. Radio cassette 2-in-1. Are you sure it's Japanese? Sure, pure Japan Mal. See the quality. Bush radio cassette. Kitna? Very cheap. $200 cash. एक मिनट.
Chale. Bush, the number 1 2-in-1.
हटो जी, खुद तो 3 साल के लिए अंदर हो गए और जाते जाते हमारा बुश रेडियो कैसे रिकॉर्डर भी साथ ले गए.
Bush, the number 1.
Okay, so that was Bush number 1. So trying to describe it, yes, it is. It's not only about the Japanese technology, although it is the number 1 technology, but still, the Indian products are also equally at par with them. So that is what also being described in this particular advertisement. Through that, actually, to try to bring a change that don't only craze for the foreign products, but along with that, think about the Indian products also that will also are at par with those foreign products. Anyway, that was a kind of appeal that has been made during that particular period of time. But along with that, the field esteem part is always an important aspect in India, and especially it's all about like the neighbors envy. I mean, it's always a honest pride and neighbors envy should be there, and of course for that there so many advertisements were launched, but out of that, one of our advertisements, we perhaps everybody came to know, it's all about Onida. That creates a kind of a sea change in the entire advertising in India. Now, let us see this particular advertisement.
Don't ever compromise. It will haunt you every evening. So, you bought the TV you always wanted. Cheers to that. I know your choice. But do look at other brands too, just to feel the difference. 3 centimeters FSD, multifunction on-screen display, 30-channel preset memory, 2-way twin angular 4-speaker system, electronic.
When Onida performs, everybody goes speechless. Onida, neighbor's envy, owner's pride.
So that was also a kind of an expectations that most of the Indian people have, that okay, I should possess a certain product for which my neighbors need to envy us. And perhaps that was being capitalized very strongly by this Onida TV. And because of this such kind of promotions only, it has brought about a sea change in the Indian CTV market, in means color TV market in India, starting from 1984 onwards. So then moving on, we also have seen certain advertisements which always talks about the home and a family bondage. Now I want to share with you one particular advertisement. Then after that, I'll explain you that why this particular advertisement was a very blockbuster advertisement, especially in the rural areas. Let us see this particular ad first.
अरे बबलू, यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो?
सब गुस्सा करते हैं, मैं घर छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ।
मगर घर में तो मम्मी ने गर्मा गर्म जलेबियाँ बनाई है।
जलेबी?
क्या तय किया आपने?
जाना तो है, मगर
हाँ, मगर 20-25 साल बाद।
अनोखी शुद्धता, अनोखा असर, धारा।
Okay, so this advertisement was a blockbuster in rural India. Why? I mean, let me explain that particular part. You see that most of the rural India, if we look into in hours of getting a job or to do certain things, maybe even for a higher study or whatever may be the reasons, they have to migrate from the rural place to the urban place. So in between that, there are certain emotions are being connected, like "maa ka haat ka khana" means the mother's food, preparation, food prepared by the mother, and then the relationship, which is actually a kind of a family relationship, which is not a blood relationship like that of Ramu Kaka. So what has happened, you see, is that yes, for whatever the reason, they need to go out, but then they always have that particular inclination towards the food being prepared by the mom, and at the same time, the relations that they normally possess about those people who are not basically their own family, members of their own family. So if we combine all together, and this particular advertisement really touches the mindset of so many the rural people, and because of that only, this Dhara becomes a blockbuster in those places, and what we have seen is that is basically the starting point from where the refined oil has started capturing the rural market, replacing those mustard oil. So this is one of an advertisement that really brought a kind of a change in the lifestyles of many of the rural Indian people. And then of course, as I said, that the basic concept of conformity is what actually I am looking for, means what the customer is basically looking for. Now Indian customers are always having having a kind of an economic struggle, means like they are always in between the pecuniary considerations. They, although they do not want to showcase that what's the price of it, but then their first actually approach is about the price. So the meeting the pocket is always a one of a prime aspect for them, and that is being also being capitalized by many of the Indian advertisements. There were so many advertisements, of course, really, which are actually targeting with this object of meeting the pocket. One of them, which I just want to share with you. Here it goes.
कोलगेट का छोटा पैकेट
कोलगेट का छोटा पैकेट खोलो दबाओ ब्रश पे लगाओ कोलगेट का छोटा पैकेट कोलगेट का छोटा पैकेट मोड़ के रखो फिर का मिलाओ इधर लाओ मुझे भी दो इधर लाओ इतने डिजाइन में कितनी पेस्ट पूरी टीम जितनी पेस्ट
कोलगेट डेंटल क्रीम अब छोटी पैकेट में ज्यादा चले, खूब चले।
So 10 रुपए में ज्यादा सले खूब सले. Now ज्यादा सले is how actually you can talk about the jada sale. It's all about a psychological game. Obviously when you are purchasing a one tube which is of a 10 rupees, it's a small tube. So how much it will continue is again a psychological game that has been played in this particular advertisements. Jada sale and khub sale is, yes, Colgate is always happens to be one of our best toothpaste in Indian market. So definitely, the benefits are always good, or the results are always good with Colgate. So this is how actually they present this particular advertisements. And yes, this Colgate small chota pack was selling like a hot cake at that point of time after this particular advertisement being aired. Now moving on to the next category, what we're talking about, the social science, that is status quest. Now in the status quest, there are, as I said, that status doesn't mean only the higher end people we are talking about, even the middle level or the lower level. All the people do possess certain status. So the status, if my status has been improved or my status has been highlighted properly, then I always feel that yes, this particular product, I mean, if it is highlighted in the advertisement, then I always feel that I should use this particular product. I got attracted to purchase that particular product. So that is the basic idea behind which some advertisements were aired in India. One advertisement, or you can say a set of advertisements, was basically focused on savings. In fact, if you look into the Indian advertisements till 1989, whatever the advertisements were being aired, whether it is in the print media or that of moving medias, you will find that the focus was basically more on the savings part. But after 1991, after this open economy, perhaps the focus now has switches over from the savings to more of expenses. How much we can expand, we can spend. So that is being highlighted in the advertisements. Okay, I'll come to that particular changes later on. Now, when people are talking about on savings, because we are always having some economic considerations in our mind, we always look into the things where I can have more of a savings. So the advertisers capitalize that particular concept and uses it in their advertisements many a times. One of them, which was very very popular at around, I can say, early 80s to the starting of the 90s, what I want to share with you right now.
ना ना, 4 नहीं 3 रुपए। ना, मैं तो 3 रुपए दूंगी बस।
ललिता जी, आप हमेशा सोच समझ कर ही खर्च करती हैं ना?
हाँ, बेशक।
फिर भी आप सर्फ खरीदती हैं।
देखिए भाई साहब, सस्ती चीज खरीदने में और अच्छी चीज खरीदने में फर्क होता है।
वो कैसे?
तोल मोल के हिसाब से देखिए तो आधा किलो सर्फ पूरे 1 किलो सस्ते पाउडर के बराबर होता है। इसलिए सर्फ की खरीदारी में ही समझदारी है।
और धुलाई?
सर्फ से कपड़े सबसे अच्छे और सफेद नजर आते हैं। इस नन्हे नटखट के भी।
लेकिन पैसे?
भाई साहब, अब थोड़े से रुपए बचाने के लिए मैं इतना सब कुछ क्यों छोड़ दूं? क्यों? हाँ? रवि, ए भैया ठीक से तोलो।
ललिता जी ठीक कहते हैं, सर्फ की खरीदारी में ही समझदारी है।
Now, this is an advertisement where actually Lalita ji, I mean, it's not a kind of a separate, a big celebrity that has been used, but there are kind of a character which is more or less a middle class family, middle class woman who is conscious about the savings part. And for that, she was describing that how surf is better than the other detergents, whether it is a price or that of a quality. So like that way, the focus on saving was there with the status part. And what is another important aspect was like in India, especially when we look back to our family, we always have a very strong family bondage. We always look into the futures of our children's. And that's why if you look into the many advertisements, even in the print media, that what actually right now I'm showing here, it's about the LIC, and the punchline also talks about that let him feel the warmth of your protection always. And in fact, in the LIC, they were also they came with a very interesting print advertisement in the year 1991, where they say that it is stated, I mean, the wordings are like this, that it is stated that business has emotion has no place in business, but we are in the business with those emotions. Think about us, LIC. So, some kind of a very interesting and a very catchy words being used in their advertisements, through which they try to attract the people to go for using their services. And during the status quest during the in this particular category, what we have seen that over the years we were also the Indian advertisements are also addressing the ethnicity and the movements, because ethnic feeling is always a very precious feeling, and it always people always feel themselves as a very highly esteemed when they see their ethnic representations has been presented international level or the international level. So there were so many advertisements that has capitalized this particular feeling, but one of them which I just want to share with you right now. And in fact, since most of your videos are off, so you can also dance to this particular tune.
मेरो गाम काठा पारे जा दूध की नदियाँ बाहे जा कोयल टोको गाए हमारे घर आंगना ना भूलो ना हमारे घर आंगना ना भूलो ना सपने हो गए हैं साकार दम के मारा ये घर बार आवे खुशियों की फुहार 12 महीने है त्योहार सुनो सुनो रे दूध का सागर बहता जाए कंगन सोने की खनकाए सुनो द्वार पे शहनाई हमारे घर झंझन लक्ष्मी के बाजे ओ हमारे घर झंझन लक्ष्मी के बाजे
Okay, if you like it, then fill in the chat box with your comments. We'll check it later on, definitely. Now, you see, another aspect what we have seen about the status quest is like a change of the habits. What we have seen is that in India, uh, that say for example this sari, wearing of sari was always a traditional matter, and most of the time we were actually talking about the cotton saris were being used by the women of that particular period. But there are certain advertisements through which certain products entered into the market, bringing about the changes in the pattern, the wearing pattern of saris. Even the dress, the other dresses, the jewelries to be associated with, lot many changes that can be brought about with the type of sari that you wear. So the advertisers actually trying to communicate this particular message to the women of India. So many advertisements were there, but then out of that, one of our advertisement which really creates a big change in Indian sari market, that actually I just want to share with you now.
The best of pure silks, chiffons, jacquards and 100% polyester tissue saris.
Okay, so this is a advertisement of Garden Varelli that has been aired around 80s and the early part of the 90s. This particular the jiggle at jiggles was composed with the traditional classical Indian rag called Des rag. So what actually does mean here is that they try to mix up the traditional part, and they also showcase that with the use of the polyesters you can bring a lot of change even with the appearance with the sari. So that change in the uses part has been discussed. Excuse me. Uh, is there any queries? Well, we'll take up your queries later on once we make the presentation. Then, so this is a kind of a change in the uses that we have seen, and then this in this particular era, sometimes some of the advertisements were actually capitalizing certain things which are basically targeting towards the youth, but it was basically not a healthy sign, because by following such kind of things, certain there were a lot of social issues emerges, and even within the family also a lot of issues actually emerges. But whatever the case may be, if I talk it from only a marketing perspective, perhaps these particular type of advertisements, like where we are using the stunning portrait, uh, it was a blockbuster among the youths. But of course, if I look it from a social change part, yes, it has created a certain social mellows which actually people were discussing at that point of time and taking it in a negative way. Let us see one of our advertisement which really creates a sensation in the Indian market regarding this using of the stunning portrait. Here it goes. So that's was a sponsor advertisement. In fact, it has really created a huge social change in in Indian market, especially in the youths, the teenagers. They were looking for it, like they simply realize on a one aspect that if I ride a bike means I feel like a man, I feel like a young guy. So everyone was actually looking for that, and in fact within the family also there were a lot of issues, because and since if the parents actually not allowed the children, the words, to purchase the bike, even it has led to some societal cases too. So that's why perhaps although the advertisers trying to bring a kind of a change to attract the young lots, that is the one side of it, but it also has a kind of a negative aspect on the overall societal structure in India also. So this is one of our example out there. Then moving on to the continuity. Am I taking a too long time, the host?
No, sir, please continue.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, continuity. I'm coming to this particular continuity aspects of social change. Now, here, what has happened that the people always wants like the things to be displayed, whatever is happening around them. I mean, they always want like the things need to be a kind of a gradual change, but not a very rapid change. So, yeah, under the, I mean, if I categorize the advertisements in India under this particular category, we have what we have seen that certain introduction of a new uses has emerged. Like previously, if I talk about a packet of biscuit, you usually used to have the biscuit in the morning along with the morning tea. Then the advertisement shows like this, in this way, that it can be used in the daytime, in the evening time. So what has happened? The frequency of the purchase of that particular biscuit increases. So these are basic strategies that has been applied through promotions to enhance the sales. So what has happened here, you see, is that certain introduction of a newer uses of a product has created a lot of change in the Indian market or Indian society at large. One of our advertisements that I want, there are so many, but then I'm just picking up only one advertisement here in this category, which has really brought a sea change in the Indian consumption patterns. Let us see the advertisement and then we'll discuss onto it.
पापा आ गए।
कॉफी?
पापा को नहीं चाहिए।
चाय?
पापा को नहीं चाहिए। अब मम्मी क्या करेगी? हाँ। I love you, Rasna.
Okay, now what has happened, you see, is that especially if I talk about rural India, yes, during the hot summer days, they have those lassis, chas and everything, the cold stuffs they used to have. But when it comes to an urban or a semi-urban system, there what has happened is that during these summer days, people normally do not want to have tea or coffee once you return back from your office. So what next to be served? And perhaps this rasna has been introduced in such a way and it has been presented in such a way that yes, the best alternative of the tea and coffee during the summer days or during the hot days is rasna. So that's how it has been presented, and perhaps it really has a big market. I mean, it has created a big market in India with this kind of advertisement. And that beautiful rasna girl, excuse me, that beautiful rasna baby and a girl, were also being liked by many, and because of that only this particular advertisement was so attractive, and for that the people convert themselves from the attention part to that of our action part. So this is one advertisement that really creates a big change in Indian market. Then describing the uses is also another feature the advertisers usually highlight, and especially in India also we have seen a lot of such kind of advertisements. One of them I just want to share with you first, and then we'll talk on this aspect.
रूपा फ्रंटलाइन का नया ऑक्सी फ्रेश वीव रखे आपको फ्रेश एंड कूल हर दम। रूपा फ्रंटलाइन, ये स्टाइल का मामला है।
See, for a long period of time, when we talk about the inner garments, we never give a big importance to that part because it is always worn inside. So we never actually talk about this particular aspect in India. till when this Rupa came up with a series of advertisements which actually talks about that it is a style. ये style का मामला है, means it was talking about a style. Wearing a vest, it's also itself is a kind of a style. That matters a lot. So that has been portrayed by many of the other brands also through such kind of advertisements, which actually create a kind of a big change in the entire hosiery markets in India, where you find that all the inner garments were, the varieties, although it was there, in the market, so many varieties, so many popular and unpopular brands were already available, but yet, these advertisements really create a brand image of many of the brands in the market. Beforehand, it was not, people were not actually putting much importance on those sort of things. So the advertisements in India has actually brought such kind of changes also. And then we talk about the health and hygiene. Of course, till today, this is always a one of a very important aspect where the advertisers have created a lot of contributions to the upgradation of the society at large in India. Uh, Let us see this advertisement. There were plenty, of course, and this advertisement itself will tell what exactly I want to share with you.
अरे पहले हाथ तो धो लो।
शेर भी कभी अपने पंजे धोते हैं दीदी?
पंजे तो चूहे भी नहीं धोते मामा जी।
शेरों के पंजे भी अब से धुलेंगे, यूं रोकेंगे टोकेंगे हो। खाने से पहले सदा हाथ धोना कभी भी ना भूलेंगे हो। जो माँ ने सिखाया वो सबको सिखाएंगे, एवरीबॉडी हाथ धो। ना फैले बीमारी जो आदत हमारी, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
अरे अब कौन जाएगा इतनी दूर?
हॉस्पिटल तो और भी दूर है अंकल, वहाँ ना जाना पड़ जाए।
कोई बहाने नहीं, अब चलेंगे, लेजी नहीं होंगे हो। इन्फेक्शन मिटाना है, सबको बताना है, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो। खाने से पहले सदा हाथ धोना कभी भी ना भूलेंगे हो।
अच्छा बताओ, अब यहाँ कैसे होगा तुम्हारा डेटॉल डेटॉल हो?
घर हो या बाहर हो, पानी हो या ना हो, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
अरे कौन सा कीचड़ लगा? साफ ही तो है।
लापरवाही नहीं, नहीं नहीं नहीं, सही से हाथों को धो। ना फैले बीमारी जो आदत हमारी, डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
साबुन से सच्चा है, साबुन से अच्छा है,
डेटॉल डेटॉल हो।
डेटॉल लिक्विड हैंड वॉश और सैनिटाइजर दें 100 बीमारी फैलाने वाले जर्म से सुरक्षा।
तभी तो मामा ने सिर्फ डेटॉल का धुला।
So that is how the continuity is there. Yes, our life should continue, but along with that, the health and hygiene factor need to be taken care of, and this particular ad becomes more important, especially in this particular pandemic situations when ultimately we have no other option but to sanitize ourselves properly. This way, the advertisements in India also focus upon some social causes, social aspects. Then there's the evolution. Of course, this advertising in India has brought about so many evolutions to us also. We will just trying to highlight on this particular aspect and then we'll sum it up. Now, this evolution means to bring a kind of a change in a gradual manner. It's not a rapidly we need to bring a change, but then gradually we can bring that change. So one of the aspect where the advertisements in India has brought a kind of an evolution in the Indian society is about the women hygiene. So there were so many advertisements being made, especially talking about the sanitary napkins. And one of an advertisement, I'm showing it right now with you. But then there were so many, and I'll explain this particular part after this ad.
ठीक है, अब टीचर जी इतना कह रही हैं तो जा बेटा दिल्ली, लेकिन जीत के लौटना होगा।
क्या हुआ? मैं जीत सकती हूँ, पर
वक्त आ गया है विंग्स वाला विस्पर चॉइस अपनाने का, जो कपड़े की तरह मुड़ता या सरकता नहीं, बना रहता है और देता है दाग से बेहतर सुरक्षा। समझी?
अब के चले तो रुकेगा।
सिर्फ 24 रुपए में विस्पर चॉइस।
Okay, so what actually has happened is that for a long period of time in India, when we talk about this particular type of women hygiene, if it is being portrayed, then people actually are not interested to see, especially there was a kind of what we can say, a kind of shakiness is there, like to see this particular thing sitting along with the seniors and the juniors. So such kind of things need to be changed, and that's why this kind of advertisement has brought about a sea change. And in fact, today, if you look into the symbolic representations with a blue color, it has also been replaced with a red color. So, like that way, the advertisers has brought about a lot of changes in this women hygiene aspect, and it's a process of evolution. Previously, people are really not like to see such kind of advertisements, especially in the advertising category, but today everyone is very much comfortable with this kind of advertisements. Then in the process of evolution, like in the western countries, the way the celebrity has been used, even in Indian situation also, we have seen that there were so many celebrities being endorsed, being used for advertisements. So many examples were there. So we'll not moving into certain advertisement, but what we have seen is that, especially if I'm talking about the big B, if I'm talking about Shah Rukh Khan or any other celebrities, their endorsements are very, very strong. Sachin Tendulkar happens to be one of the greatest celebrity endorsement in Indian advertising scenario. Dhoni is also out there. Even now Kohli is doing well, and then there are in this particular evolution part, although there were so many advertisements which are actually creating so much of changes in the societal aspect, what we have seen is that in Indian part, some advertisements which are really creating some wrong communications. In the arts of creating some changes, some wrong communications are being made. Uh, One of our classic example is in front of us that I want to share with you.
बहुत सुन लिया। हम कहाँ बने हैं बॉडी बनाने के लिए? इंडियन डाइट में प्रोटीन से ज्यादा माँ का प्यार होता है। आखिर हमें बॉडी बिल्डिंग विरासत में नहीं मिली, मिली है तो सिर्फ मेहनत, मेहनत जो कमियां नहीं गिनती, जिसे सालों का लो प्रोटीन नहीं दिखता। ये जानती है हमारी बॉडीज बनी बनाई नहीं आती, बनानी पड़ती है, और इसी मेहनत को ज्यादा प्रोटीन देने के लिए बना है मसल ब्लेज बायोजाइम वे विद एनहांस्ड एब्जॉर्प्शन फॉर्मूला, इंडियन बॉडीज पर टेस्टेड एंड प्रूवन। ये देता है 50% ज्यादा प्रोटीन एब्जॉर्प्शन और बेटर मसल ग्रोथ। मसल ब्लेज बायोजाइम वे, बना आपकी मेहनत के लिए, बना इंडिया के लिए।
Okay, yes, बना आपके मेहनत के लिए, बना आपके बॉडी के लिए, everything is out there, fine, absolutely fine. But what has happened, you see, is that consumption of protein is entirely depends on individual's BMI level. That has never been highlighted in such kind of advertisements, and because of which only, since people are so much emotionally attracted with the concepts like माँ का खाना में protein ज़्यादा है, and then विरासत में हमें मेहनत मिली है, not the bodybuilding. So when you got such kind of emotional content in your advertisement, obviously most of the Indian youths are quite attracted, especially the young boys. They are quite attracted to such kind of advertisements, and whether they go to the gym or not, means they started consuming such kind of proteins, which really has given a lot of negative effect on their body later on. So such kind of wrong communications need to be checked. But then this is what is India. This is how basically this advertising in India goes. And then moving on a one particular note only, what Socrates has said that I cannot teach anybody anything, but then I can only make them think. On this particular note, I just want to put forward to you to think about that. Do you think that these Indian advertisements are more of objectified or depersonalized? Or second thought that we need to look into is that, or we need to ponder upon, is emotionals, whether our advertisements are more on the emotionals and than that of rational, or there is a balance between these two. And the third one is about like the gender inequality. Is it a equality or inequality that has been described in Indian advertisements? All these 3 points need to be pondered upon, and that actually I'm leaving to today's audience. You see, you may enjoy different soaps and serials in your TV, but in between, when there is a break, please do not switch over to other channels. Look at those advertisements. They have lot many things to tell you. They have a long stories to tell you. Please do think about this advertisement. Think about the prospects of advertisements and enjoy these advertisements. With this note, this is Simul Kumanat, back to sign off. Thank you. Thank you for so much for your patience listening. In fact, I'm so sorry, like I have taken a little bit of longer time than what has been assigned to me. But then kya kare? Since it is all about advertisements, I can't resist myself also. Okay, it's over to you, the host.
Thank you so much, sir. You have immensely contributed in enhancing our knowledge on advertisement. Our perception on advertisements shall definitely take a turn now. You have beautifully captured our attention with the audio and visual displays all throughout the session. And I'm very sure every participant is going to admit to it, as we have received a host of positive comments, with many getting nostalgic with the old advertisement videos that we have shared, sir. You also have questions put forward by the participants. We will discuss the participants' questions in some time. The Google feedback form is also being sent on the chat box. I request everyone to kindly fill that for the certificates. Now, may I please request Dr. Pranjit Sarkia, IQAC Coordinator, Dooma College, to kindly share his words. Sir, please.
Thank you, Sarmista. Good evening, everyone. Honorable Principal Sir of Dooma College, Dr. Prakashjyoti Bhattakur Sir. Honorable Resource Person, Dr. Nath Sir. Honorable Head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. Deepak Kumar Mohanto Sir. Honorable teachers of the college and dear and respected participants. We are very glad that today the Department of Commerce, Dooma College, has organized an excellent webinar on evolution of advertisement in India, a roadmap. We are very privileged to listen Professor Nath Sir in a very satisfactory way. The way he explained the evolution of advertisement in India since 90s till today was amazing, and I hope our participants will be benefited from his presentation. After listening such a magnificent and mesmerizing presentation, I have nothing to say much, but I must congratulate the Department of Commerce for organizing such an excellent webinar and inviting such a dynamic speaker to speak on this very relevant topic, because advertisement is always the advertisement of various companies and all always affect us in many ways. So we have come to know about its history and its present and its trajectory till today. So we are very fortunate to listen Professor Nath Sir. Being the coordinator of IQSA, I would like to only one thing that appreciating this endeavor, I would like to request the Department of Commerce and the entire college faculty and departments to organize such magnificent and informative webinars. For this cause, I am being the coordinator of IQSA. I am ready to provide all sorts of assistance, and I hope that such academic endeavors will continue in our college, which will further strengthen the vibrant academic atmosphere of our college. Once again, I would like to thank all the stakeholders of this webinar. With these words, I'm not like to stretch much because it is 5:30 almost. So we have the question answering session also. I have seen many questions in Zoom and YouTube chat box. So I would like to request Sarmistha kindly to proceed with the question answering session, and hope that this webinar will complete successfully. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We shall now move forward to the question and answer session. Dr. Nath, sir, I want to know it from you if I can present you the questions on behalf of the participants.
Yeah, that will be nice. That will be nice.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So we have a question from a participant who wants to know about the steps that should be taken in developing an effective marketing program.
Marketing
program.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So should I repeat the question?
Yeah, please.
What steps should be taken in developing an effective marketing program?
Okay. See, if I talk about any sort of a marketing program, if you want to develop, I'm sure this is about the marketing program, na? You said? Is that it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you talk about any sort of a marketing program, perhaps there is a host of literatures available which always talks about different steps. But what for me I believe is first of all, like in case of a marketing, you have to be very energetic, and you have to have a very optimistic thoughts in your mind. I mean, you have to be very proactive to the situations. And so that's why, first of all, to make yourself fit for any kind of a marketing program is the first step that you have to look into. You have to look back to yourself and have to evaluate yourself that whether you are really fit for developing a kind of a marketing program or not. I mean, where we are having where actually I am having the forte means my area or my strength to be displayed, because you see that everything in every kind of a marketing program, with how far it may be very fantastic in their way, the idea wise, but at certain point of time there is always certain weaknesses and the threats that we have to face. So how to cover up that thing, because first of all we have to look into our weaknesses, we have to look into the threats. But for that purpose, if I look into the only the negative side, and in that case I got disappointed or I am totally discouraged, in that case I cannot proceed with that particular marketing program, right? So that's why first of all, develop a very strong psychology, very strong determination in your mind to carry on a particular marketing program. And then after that you look into the worst situation of it, because if you are very much prepared with the worst situations, then you will find a synergetic effect in your next process. So that's why what I believe is that first of all, yeah, strong determination, make yourself mentally prepared about it, and then after that look into the difficulties associated with, then try to match that particular difficulties with your strengths and your opportunities. And then after that, only once it is being balanced properly, then you start executing to it. I hope like I'm been able to answer your query.
Thank you,
It's a
sir.
very nice question indeed.
Definitely, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Another participant wants to know about flooring display.
Sorry.
Flooring display. A participant wants to know about flooring, FLOORING, flooring display.
Flooring display. Yeah. What he or she wants to know about it?
And the participant had just queried about flooring display. He wants to know the concept about flooring display too.
Okay. See, today marketing is everywhere, and when it comes to an promotion of a product, yes, it is being displayed everywhere. Now, the concept of flooring display actually emerges from the concept of total quality management or the Six Sigma concept that has been that was developed in the Japanese management styles, where they were basically focusing on industrial arena, that where the steps are, where the ups and downs are there, where the machine is there, and how far you have to stay from a particular machine so that you can avoid any sort of accidents. On those aspects actually they use different colors, especially they use those fluorescent green or that of a yellow color, the very bright yellow color tapes, they normally put it. So like that way, what has happened that once I approach near to a one particular step, which I need to climb, or I need to go down, in that case before approaching to that particular point only, I got the idea that it is coming, the steps are coming, the display is there. So it was really working well in that particular industrial front, and the concept has been derived from that particular point only. And then now what they do is that in the different floors, they initially they painted the floors with different things, and then they also later on try to display certain things on a lower floor, for which people has a kind of a different attentions towards the particular product or the services being offered. Of course not this kind of displays are not basically for most the services, because in case of services, the write-ups, the words are comparatively, you require more words, which actually people will not be interested to read looking at the floor. So they do not actually want like that. And along with that, what they are also doing is that some of the digital floors are being created, and where also those digitally such kind of things are being presented, such displays are being made. So like that way, different ways, the flooring display concept has now in the process of evolution, and it is growing up across the world. So I believe like this is basically the concept, though I do not have the basic idea about what a basic intention, like what the question setters was actually looking for. So I'm just giving you a brief idea about what is flooring display. Over
Thank
to
you,
you.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the participants' doubt is clarified. We are going live on YouTube as well, and there were questions on the comment section of YouTube. A participant has inquired about doing advertising in India.
Doing advertising in
India.
India means is it like how to do a create a ad agency? You are looking about that, or like what? Doing advertising in India is a very broad area
Well,
now.
yes, actually, the participant had just asked about the concept of doing advertisement in India.
Well, it's a very huge one. But the thing is that yes, doing advertisements in India is not that very difficult. Only the thing is that you need to have a thorough market survey. You have to understand the sentiments. You have to understand the beliefs, tastes, and preferences of the Indian customers. And once you know about it, in that case, obviously you can develop a very beautiful advertisements. And always remember that India is more of emotions than of rationality parts. So put more emotions, focus more emotions in your advertisement, obviously your advertisement will going to click it. So that's all what actually I can say right now. I mean,
Yes, I did. Thank you, sir. This is the last question which we can put forward.
yeah, just Priyanka, I got a one particular chat you're talking about. Uh, Sorry, you got a question wrong, sir. Ma'am actually said green advertising.
Green advertising, yes.
You're talking about green advertising. I replied flooring.
Sir, you heard it doing advertising, but she was actually saying green advertising due to some network problem.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the paper, the question status. I'm extremely sorry about it. Yeah, green advertising is well today. It's a concept like every time we talk about the green, green concept is really, working. I mean, it's a most sought after concept now across the globe in different fields. And especially in case of an advertisements also, we are talking about the green advertisements. Yes, where the advertisements are those, I mean, green advertisements are basically those advertisements which actually consumes less energy and less of the natural resources. I mean, it's not exactly no use, but rather kind of a use where we can uh, optimally uses the resources without wasting much. So that this is what how actually this green advertising concept is being developed. And perhaps if you look into those digital boards which has been displayed across different places in India, if you look into many of the metropolis now, those digital boards are being run not in electricity, that is being run in solar system. So means from the means part also, from a means part also, if the advertisements are being supported with a green part, that is also is coming under the purview of green advertising. So it is coming up, but then it's not like the way people feel that green advertising means everything should be green or green, nothing of that sort. But then the consumption, but the uses of the resources, how optimally we are using it in developing the advertisement, that is what is being focused upon. Hope now I'm reaching to you.
Thank you,
Samishta.
sir.
Samishta.
Yes, sir.
So regarding green advertisement, I would like to ask one question to Dr. Nath. So,
yes, sir.
Nath, so it is a very nice deliberation. Really, it is a very fruitful one. So I would like to ask you one question regarding the green advertisement. So we have seen the large hoardings. They are basically use synthetic materials, plastic materials for the large hoardings like this. Is there any alternative? In earlier age, what happens? So everyone used to write in cloths with paints and all that. Nowadays, the synthetic banners are coming in the market.
Yes.
As a part of the green advertisement, is there any alternative of it? And one more question. So what are the basic things are required for an advertising agency actually?
Okay. Yes, thank you for the questions. Now I'll try to reply you one by one. First one, regarding the green ads, yes, you are concerned. I mean, about your whatever your concern is, like using of the synthetic clothes and all these things are really kind of threats to the environment. And
Yes.
that's why to avoid that, I mean, what you have highlighted previously about writing on a cloth, handwritten or something like that, that was there, but due to the cost factor only, that has been replaced with such kind of printing, I mean, such kind of PVC displayed part is there. But now there are certain alternatives that has emerged. especially in case of Japan, when they were using that, they were using or preparing the particular board with thatch, and then with that on the top, they try to decorate with different colors, and they try to display the things. And since this task is not so popular, otherwise not so popular in Japan, so when so automatically it creates attraction to them, to the customers attractions they can create. So people are looking I mean, when they are driving the car, immediately on the side of the road, when they saw such kind of hoardings which is purely prepared of different materials, so definitely they try to look into that particular advertisements. They try to look into those particular hoardings. But along with that, of course, the other alternative what is there, especially in um, especially in European countries where they do not have such kind of resources. What they do is that they switch over their digital boards. I mean, the boards what they are having, they switch over those digital boards from the electricity source to that of a solar source. So like that, they are bringing certain changes. And perhaps in India we have lot many actually different materials that can be used instead of such kind of PVC printings. Only the thing is that we are always looking into the cost concern part, but at the same time we are also playing over with the ecological system.
Yes.
So that is the irony right now we have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yeah,
much, Nath. Thank you.
thank you. And then moving on to your next question about the ad agencies. Uh, you see, for ad agency, one thing is important, that any one of the person who is actually handling over this particular ad agency, they must at least pursue a certificate course on advertisement. I mean, why actually I say that they must, because once they go with that particular course, they will be able to understand the uh, different medias through which they can go ahead with such kind of advertisements. Now, what has happened that our we always have a limitations in our media selection part. Normally we feel that this media will be effective, but ultimately we realize that this media is not effective for such kind of advertisements. So such kind of technical issues, for addressing such kind of technical issues, one must have a little bit of idea about advertisement. So for that, of course, they can easily do a 3-month certificate course. Once they have it, then after that, actually they even do not require even a room also,
Yes.
because today it is all about a virtual platform through which only they can easily handle their clients, and at the same time they can easily handle all their activities. So even they do not even require a room, only they require some laptops, and then they require certain linkages, certain suppliers, because they are the people who will be handling on behalf of the ad agency. So such
In
kind
Assam,
of networking is required. Yes, sir.
Assam, is there any such type of institution where one can take a certificate courses? Is there any such type of institution in Assam, recognized institution?
No, in Assam we do not have so far. To my best of the knowledge, we do not have such certificate course on advertisements. But near to us, yes, we have a certificate course in Vishwa Bharati, that is in West Bengal, and then we have some advertisement courses in Mumbai, in Indore, in Gwalior, and then even the Punjab University is also offering. Of course, they are offering a diploma course, not exactly a certificate course. And even in Rajasthan, also the University of Rajasthan at Jaipur, they were also having some certificate course on advertisement.
Thank you very much, Nath. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Your speech is very enlightening us actually. Yeah, and it is really a very wonderful lecture from your end actually. Thank you very much once again. I, on behalf of the Dooma College family, offer our heartfelt gratitude to you actually. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Over to Samistha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nath sir, for very valuable time in answering the questions. We are having a host of questions from the participants, but we are extremely sorry for not being able to accommodate all of them due to time constraints. I am very sure and hopeful that sir will be able to answer all of them some other time.
Definitely.
So here we have reached the closer of our program. Now, I request Mr. Sandeep Dey, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, to conclude the vote of thanks. Sandeep, please.
Thank you, Sir Mr. So we are proceeding towards the last section of the webinar, that is the Thanksgiving session. Am I audible, Sir Mr.?
Yes, Sandeep, yes.
Okay. So, honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, respected principal sir, and dear participants, on behalf of Dooma College and its entire fraternity, I feel immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Chimun Kumar Nath, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Dibrugarh University, who spared precious time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion and enlighten all of us with his innovative ideas in the field of advertising. Sir, you carried out the use of audiovisual aids in its perfect way and took us back to our ancient times and childhood times. Many people even got mesmerized with the way you have presented the advertisement scenario. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. And we hope we can get you in future time as well if there is any need.
Definitely.
I would also like to take this opportunity to express my deep regards to our principal, sir, Dr. Prakashjyoti Borthakur, for being a constant motivator and guiding force in all our endeavor to excel in the field of education. I would especially thank our head of the department, Dr. Deepak Kumar Mohanto, sir, for his unfaltering support and confidence in us. He is the backbone of the department and the guiding force for every new step forward. I would further like to extend the hearty thanks to IQS SE Cell, Dooma College, and special thanks to Dr. Pandit Soikia sir and Chimideka ma'am for their valuable comments and guiding us in every successive stage. My deep sense of thanks and appreciation goes to my fellow colleague, Ms. Sharmishta Bhattacharya, and her brother, Mr. Krishna Bhattacharya, for helping every possible way in conducting this webinar smoothly without any interruption. Last but not the least, my heartfelt thanks to all the participants who were with us with great enthusiasm, which made today's event obviously a successful one. If any such program comes out in near future, we hope to have your presence. With this, I conclude that the webinar is over. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Sarvisa.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to the team, Dooma College.
Really good having you, sir.
Yeah, I do not know whether it is good or bad, but then I really feel myself, into the
good, sir.
subject.
Good.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and hope to see you again. With this note, I
Yes,
back to
sir.
sign
Thank
off
you,
now. Okay, then see you. Thank you so all. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
শৰ্মিষ্ঠা থাকিবা সন্দীপ থাকা
sir.
অলপ শৰ্মিষ্ঠা আছা ন সন্দীপ
আছো স্যার
আছে স্যার আছে স্যার
নাই এনেই মই থাকিব ক'লো হৈয়ে গ'ল বাৰু শেষ হা বহুত ধুনীয়া হৈছে বহুত ভাল লাগিছে বহুত ইণ্টাৰেষ্টিং হৈছে হা
মাত চাত বিলাক ভালকে আহিছে সবে ভালকে শুনিছে নে
yes মাত ধুনীয়াকে আহিছে আৰু তোমাৰ ইউটিউব লাইভ ষ্ট্ৰীমিংও উইদাউট এনি ইন্টাৰাপশন
ধুনীয়াকে হৈ গৈছে একো ইন্টাৰাকশন নাই 8 GB ইউজ কৰিছো মানে ভৰাই দিছো 8 GB ইন্টাৰাকশন নাপাবলে
কিন্তু
খালি মোৰ নেটৱৰ্ক প্ৰবলেম কাৰণে মই বাৰ একাউন্ট দিব কাৰণে প্ৰিয়ংকা দেখাই আছে নেকি মোৰ চাগে
নাই তোমাৰ ঠিকে শৰ্মিষ্ঠাই দেখুৱাই আছে
শৰ্মিষ্ঠা দেখুৱাইছে ন
শৰ্মিষ্ঠাই দেখুৱাই আছে হা খুব মানে সাকসেস বিশেষকৈ সন্দীপকো ক'ব লাগিব মানে মানে শৰ্মিষ্ঠা আৰু শৰ্মিষ্ঠাৰ ভাইটিকো মানে সমানে লাগিব দেই লগতে তোমাৰ বা কি তোমাৰ ফেমিলিকে মই কৈ দিছো ধন্যবাদ হা আৰু এনে কৰাৰ কাৰণেহে হ'ল আৰু ইন ফিউচাৰ আমি মানে আৰু কি কৰিব পাৰি তোমালোকে
আৰু কৰিম হয়
হা কি কৰিব পাৰি হেতু ভাবা
হয় স্যাৰ ঠিক আছে
Yes sir, we are definitely thinking about that. আমি ভাবিছো স্যার অতি সোনকালে আপোনাক জনাম আৰু কেদিনমান যোগ স্যার আপোনাক আকৌ জনাম নতুন কিবা আইডিয়া লৈ আকৌ আহিম
ঠিক আছে তেতিয়ালে ওলাই দিও আৰু
হয় স্যার ওলাই দিও